again, changing. So whatever your habit is, changing the cross of the legs or the configuration of the legs. Good. Eyes closed or eyes open. Letting your body find its place. And maybe a slight sense of alignment, right? Noticing if the head likes to pull us forward. So bringing the head back. A sense of the back of the room, what's behind you. What's in front of you, and stepping into this time and space. Right, feeling the presence of your body here in this moment. And then really dropping into what that means, what that feels like, the vastness of this moment. Right, connected to the past, to the future, but this moment. Stepping into the nourishment of this moment. Or settling into whatever nourishment shows up for you. Get aware of your breath. Get that cycle of receiving, allowing, taking in, nourishing, and exhaling, releasing, emptying, completing. Right, each cycle new. Beginning and an ending, a birth and a death. And lengthening your inhale and exhale. Feeling the richness, the fullness of the inhale, the expanse, and that sense of full. And long, slow exhale. That sense of emptying, completing that exhale. Soft and diffuse, but rich and alive. And palms together in front of your heart. And in this, sitting in this space, in this movement, the inhale, the exhale, the present, the vastness of the present. Let's inhale for one Om. Okay. All right, let's come on to our backs. So knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Okay. So arms alongside the body, just feeling the back of the pelvis on the floor, back of the ribs, back of the head. Again, just that sense of the back body. And letting the pelvis stay heavy. We're just going to play with keeping the waist heavy, pelvis heavy, ribs heavy, and just lifting the heels off the floor. Good, coming onto the toe tips, feeling the waist stay heavy, and then pick the toes up. And let's slowly draw the knees towards the chest. All right, feeling the back of the waist settle even more. And then keeping the waist settled, ribs settled as you bring toe tips to the floor, heels to the floor. Good, and again, just let your body settle, cycle of breath in and out. And then waist heavy, heels come up. Good, keep the waist heavy and the breath moving, and then peel the toe tips off the floor, knees towards the chest. And then toe tips to the floor, keeping the waist heavy, heels to the floor. Soften for a moment. Good, last time, waist heavy, heels up on your toe tips, then peel the toe tips up, knees towards the chest. And then let's lift the feet up and lift the arms up. So I'm in a little upside down, like I'm hugging a pillow or something, holding onto a tree. And I'm just going to play with rolling to the right. So I'm going to roll, everything's going to roll. So my pelvis is going to roll, my shoulders and my head are going to roll. And I'm just going to roll right side of sacrum, the edge of the sacrum, maybe over the edge onto the buttocks. And then slowly, slowly roll back. Smooth transition back. Right, so the arms are slightly rounded, they're soft. Legs are soft so that I can really roll. Center of pelvis, left side of pelvis, edge of sacrum, towards that shoulder, towards the ear. Pause, and then slowly roll back. And again, let the movement almost slow down. So the body has to find each of those points in space, like a string of points. Points of stability, of focus, of movement, of organization, of understanding, and just stringing them together, one at a time. Back to center. Let's do one more time to the left. Again, noticing going slow, right? The desire to want to either push or grip, and see if you can soften and continue to go slow. Good, and then come back to center. Okay, so I'm just going to let my knees come together, my arms straight up to the ceiling. Good, and I'm going to bring my right hand to my left knee. Just let them press into each other and let that right leg and left leg reach, left arm reach away from each other. Right leg, left arm in opposite directions. And then slowly bring that right knee back up, left arm back up, and switch. Right, pressing left hand into the right knee, right arm, left leg travel. Again, the waist stays pretty heavy. The torso stays stable. I would say rigid, responsive, but stable. And come back to where you started and switch. Left arm, right leg travel away from each other. Left arm overhead, right leg down to the bottom of the mat. And slowly back, right knee bends, left arm comes up. and switch. Right arm overhead, left leg extends to the bottom of the mat. And center. Good, and both feet to the floor. And pause. Good. Again, pelvis heavy, waist heavy, ribs heavy. Peel the heels up on the toe tips. Lift the toes up. Knees somewhat over the pelvis. I'm just holding there. Maybe pick the feet up so the lower legs are a little perpendicular to the thighs. And then I'm just going to slip my left hand behind my head, right? Lifting my head up, not so much from the hand, but I'm lifting my head up. And I'm just going to curl. So right arm moves straight out to the side from the shoulder. And I'm just going to turn my upper body as if trying to peel the left shoulder off the floor and move my weight onto that right shoulder. Right, maybe that left elbow comes towards the right knee, but not really. And then slowly lower down, left arm out to the side, just slipping that right hand behind the head. And again, just peeling the head up, shoulder up, right shoulder. And I'm just gonna turn, peeling that right shoulder off the floor, tipping onto that left shoulder, right knee, right elbow towards that left knee. And then slowly down. Good, right arm straight out to the side. One more time, left arm behind the head, lifting the shoulders up, right, dropping the waist, dropping the ribs, softening the ribs back as I lift and turn to the right. And then slowly lower down. Last time, other side. Scooping the head up, turning, right shoulder lifts, rolling onto that left shoulder. Right elbow towards that left knee. And then lower back down. Both feet to the floor. Okay, one more silly. Not really silly, but let's take the arms up to the ceiling. Again, peel the heels up, waist is heavy, toe tips up. And I'm gonna take the arms wide and the knees wide. So I'm just opening my stance here. And I'm gonna pull my right elbow into my right inner knee. Then extend that left arm overhead, left leg towards the bottom of the mat. So left side is extending, right side is engaging, and pull the knee into the elbow and the elbow into the knee. And press out into the arm, or press out with the arm and in with the knee. And then let's slowly switch. Right, left knee and elbow come in, right arm, right leg extend. Pressing out with the left arm, in with the left knee. Drawing those, just engaging that left side of the torso. And switch. You can imagine you're a big bug crawling on the ceiling. And switch. Spread your fingers, spread your toes, just to help you imagine the bug. And switch. And switch. And center, toes to the floor, heels to the floor. Yay. Okay, roll onto your side and come up to sit. And then coming onto hands and knees. And I'm going to start at the back of my mat. Just going to do a little bit of crawling. So my hips slightly behind my knees, right? So there's a little bit of hip flexion. Hands under shoulders. And just for a moment, I'm going to play with lifting the heel of the hand, the ball of the hand coming up onto the fingers, and then rolling the length of the fingers down, ball of the hand down, wrist down, and then back up, and down, and up, and down. Turn the hands out to the side, And just shifting side to side. Shift right, shift left. Maybe make a circle around the hands. And then let's turn the hands back, fingertips back towards the knees. So you can do one at a time, right? If you want to do just one and then switch, or you can have both hands, fingers back and just shift forward and back a little. Maybe shift side to side or a circle, one direction. Good, other direction. Okay, come back to center and just squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other and spread shoulder blades apart. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Spread shoulder blades apart. One more time, squeeze and spread. I lied, let's do two more, squeeze because it feels good. And spread, squeeze, and spread. Okay, so from here, let's do a little walk forward. So right hand, left foot forward, and then left hand, right foot. Same time, same speed. Right hand, left foot, knee, and switch. And back. And opposite hand and knee, moving same time, same speed. Noticing what your center line is doing. Okay, come back to the front. So let's take a little bit. So as I take my right hand and my left knee forward, I'm going to take the left knee close to the wrist and that right shoulder forward. And my right hip is going to hang back. So I'm almost squeezing the left shoulder blade back towards the left hip. A little bit of a side bend. I'm just going to put a little swag in my crawl. Right knee to the right wrist, left hand forward, and a little side bend to the right. And again, opposite hand and knee with a little side bend, a little kind of swing side to side, a little more like a lizard. And then back. Right, so the left hand comes towards the left knee, long through the right side, and switch, right hand close to the right knee, so I'm short on the right side, long on the left side, and switch, and switch, and center. Okay, so let's do one forward and back with the knees off the floor, just off the floor a little. Again, a little bit of hip flexion. So knees are close to the hands. Right, little bit of a lift, ribs up into the body. And then just lift your knees off the floor, just an inch. And again, little crawl. Right foot, left hand. Left foot, right hand. And switch, and switch, and switch, and back. Opposite hand and knee. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. And switch, and switch, and switch, and come down. Yay. Okay, so now I'm going to just make sure I have room behind me to extend a leg. So my crawls are going to be smaller unless you have room. If you have room, make them longer. So again, just a little bit of hip flexion. So I'm going to take right elbow towards the left knee and pull the elbow into the knee. This time I'm going to extend right arm forward, left leg back. Lifting the ribs away from the floor, left side, right side, center. And then as I come down, left knee slightly forward, right hand slightly forward. And then left elbow towards that right knee, press. Extend that left arm forward, right leg back. Again, lifting the sides of the waist, sides of the ribs, center line from pubis to crown. And then as I come down, left hand slightly forward, right knee slightly forward. Right elbow, left knee. And extend forward and back, lifting and lengthening. Lengthening through the center line, lifting through the side body. And then right hand slightly forward, left knee slightly forward. Okay, so this time I'm gonna actually, let's go back because I'm running out of room. So let's take right elbow to left knee and extend again. And then this time I'm gonna bend the left leg, bring the right arm behind. I'm just gonna touch my right fingers to my left heel and press the left heel up into the fingers. And if you can't touch, then just press the left heel to the ceiling, pull the right arm to the ceiling. Good, and then extend front to back. This time come back. So right hand slightly back, left knee slightly back. Left elbow, right knee, extend forward. Bend the right leg, left hand reaches back, maybe fingertips to the right heel. Press the heel up into the fingers. Lift the arm, lift the ribs, lift the side body. Extend. Again, slight step back. Left knee, right elbow. Extend right arm forward, left leg back. Bend the left leg, reach back. Find the foot, lift the thigh, lift the arm, lift the waist. Forward, right hand back, left knee back. Last time, left elbow, right knee, extend forward and back. Right leg bends, left arm comes behind, find that heel, lift. Extend and down. Good, child's pose just for a moment. Hands walk forward, toes together, knees apart. And let's walk the hands to the right. Sinking that left hip back towards the heel, left hand away. And center, other side. Walk the arms to the right. Right hand away from the right hip. Pull that right hip back. Good, and center. Good, up onto hands and knees. Okay. All right. So let's take that right leg and I'm going to extend it back. And so I'm going to do a light touch, very light touch on the floor. So if you have hardwood, it's easier to slide. Sometimes carpet, you can get a little bit of a rug burn, but just graze the floor. So right leg's going to swing around the left leg and back to the left side of the room. And then swinging around and forward towards the upper right side of the room. And then again around and back. And lengthening the right side of the waist. And then swinging around and engaging the right side of the waist. One more. Back. And then all the way forward. And this time as I come back, I'm going to let those right toes curled under and I'm going to slide that right leg back. So my hips are going to pull back. My left hip moving towards the heel, but not really, right off to the left, almost like a pigeon. And then I'm going to pull the left knee towards the right foot to come back up. Let that right leg swing forward again. And then again, I'm just going to play with maybe the sole of the foot is on the floor, maybe the heel's on the floor, and I'm just going to slide that leg forward, pressing the feet and legs away from each other, and then pull the feet towards each other to come back up. One more time. Swing around. Right leg comes back. You get to decide how far you go into this. Right leg slides back. Hips sink back and down. Almost like a skewed pigeon pose. Reach the feet and thighs away from each other. And then pull everything towards the center line. Come up one more time, around and forward. Right leg is going to slide. Again, sliding feet and thighs away from each other. And then pull towards each other to come up. Last time, slide around. Right leg again. So you get to swing as much as feels right for your body and then slide away. Right, so there's a big side bend from that right hand to that right foot. Long on the right side, short on the left side. And then pull the limbs towards each other to come up. Slide forward. You can have your hands on blocks if that helps. And slide that right leg forward. Right, I'm at a slight diagonal. So it's not quite a split. And then pull everything in. Knees together. Good. So as I pull, right, rounding, let the tailbone scoop under, let the pubis lift towards the belly to come back towards a child's pose. My ribs lifted off my thighs, just for a moment. And then open the knees, slide the hands forward. Elbows off the floor, child's pose. Okay. And then let's come up and do the other side. And again, you can have your hands on blocks if that helps you shift more weight back to your legs. Put some weight off your wrists. Okay, left leg. All right, we're just going to do a little circle. Right, like a single grass being spun around by the wind. So left leg spins behind to the right side of the room, creating a long arc on that left side. And then around and forward. Right, again, I'm engaging the left side of the waist. So the hip and shoulder come towards each other. And then left leg scoops back, lengthening that left side. And scoop around, engaging that left side of the waist. One more time, long through that left side. Foot away from shoulder. And scoop forward, hip close to shoulder. And then as I scoop back, I'm going to find that point that feels right. And then I'm just going to curl the toes under and slide that left leg back. Hips coming into somewhat modified pigeon. And then pull the legs towards each other to come back up to center. Swing that left leg forward. Again, sole of the foot can be on the floor or heel. And just scoot, slide, send that left leg forward. Pull the limbs towards each other to come up. And then again, slide. Curl the toes under, extend back. Come forward and around. Slide forward. And back, right? Again, so you're almost pressing, right? You're pushing the legs away from each other. And then pulling the legs towards each other. And then swing. And then slide the feet away from each other. And pull the feet towards each other. Good. And then come to neutral. Rounding the back. Maybe even coming on just to the fingertips. So the heel of the hands off the floor. Rounding as you pull back. Hips towards the heels. Keep that round shape. And then open the knees, slide the hands forward. So there's still just an imprint of heaviness into the hips, back of the hips. Maybe even press the hands down and send the hips back and down as the hands press forward and down. Good. And then curl the tailbone down. Start to lift the ribs up, round the back, and just draw the hands, slide the hands towards you. Okay, so slight angle. Well, I can do this. So I'm just going to take my right leg. So my ankle comes in front of my left thigh and my right knee. So depending on your leg, your knee might be a little more forward towards the wrist or a little more out to the side, depending on your external rotation. Right, now I'm just going to shift my hips back and shift forward. And shift back. Again, your hands can be on blocks. And forward, and then shifting my hips to the right and left and straight to the right. Might not go very far, and left. And one more time to the right, back towards the back of the right back of the mat, left back of the mat, forward to the front left, front right, big circle, and then change direction. Big circle, keeping that knee on the floor, shin on the floor, ankle on the floor. Okay, and so again, hands can be on blocks. Actually, let's grab the blocks just for this one. Makes it easier if you don't already have your blocks. So I'm going to keep my left hand on my block. We've done this before, I think. Right arm up to the ceiling. So the hips pull forward as that right arm lifts. And then the hips pull back as that right arm reaches under. And then right arm up. And right arm under and across to the left. One more time, up. And under and across to the left. And center. Okay, left arm up, hips forward. And then pull the hips back, let that left arm reach under and across to the right. Hips forward and up, and under and across. Last time, hips up. And left arm under and across. Good. And just unwind. Knees together. Okay. So knees together. And I'm just going to let my feet move open, away from each other. And then feet together. And again, feet open. And feet together. And feet open. And feet together. Okay, other side. All right, so I'm just going to shift forward again. Left ankle in front of that right thigh. Shifting back. And shifting forward. And shifting back. Again, just notice how the blocks give you just more space. And forward. And I'm going to come onto the floor just because I did the floor on the other side, but you are free to use blocks. Please do. Shifting left, right, hips just shift to the left wall and then to the right wall and left, right. Feel the transition, feel all the spaces that would like a little more softness around the movement. Right, if the movement feels lumpy, can you smooth it out? And then going left, back left corner, right front corner, left front corner, and then change direction. Good. And then hands on blocks. Let's do our rotation. Okay. So right hand stays down, left arm up to the ceiling, hips pull forward, whatever forward is for you. Mine is slightly to the left. And then left arm under the right arm into the right side of the room. And then forward and up, hips come forward, right? Use those back hips. And then hips swing back. Hips forward and back and forward. And then left hand down, right arm up to the ceiling. Hips back and under and to the left, and then up to the ceiling. Then back, under and to the left, up to the ceiling. One more time. Pull those hips back, bend the left arm, reach to the left, and come back to center. Knees together. Sit back on your heels. Okay, so let's just come into downward facing dog for a moment. Feet together. Okay, so sliding that right leg along that center line, that line between left leg and right leg. I'm just gonna slide that right leg back and up towards the wall, behind me and towards the ceiling. Lift the left heel up to get a little more height. Lift the ribs up to get a little more support for the leg. And then I'm gonna turn the pelvis to the right. Pubic bone turns to the right. Like the whole pelvis turns to the right. Right leg is gonna bend and almost fall to the left. And then I'm gonna swing that right knee around and forward towards that right elbow. And outside, step that right foot outside of the right hand. Good. And hips come low. Again, pressing the feet away from each other. Good. And then maybe pull the feet towards each other. Good. Palms on the floor. And I'm just going to play again with sliding that right leg forward. As far forward as you can. And then I'm going to bend my arms a little. Just bringing my shoulders a little closer to the floor. Really shift my weight into my arms. And then just slide that right leg around and behind. Knees to the floor. Up to a tabletop. Downward dog. Okay. Other side. Feet together. Left leg back and up. Again, edit any parts that you need to edit. You can step back instead of sliding the leg around. Ribs up to lift that left leg up. Pelvis turns to the left, right? So we're just going to turn the ribs to the left. Bend that left leg. Maybe even let that left thigh come back just a little bit to the wall behind, right side of the room. And then swing that left knee all the way forward to the shoulder, to the elbow. Left foot to the floor outside of the hand. Lower the hips. Press the feet away from each other. Right, different engagement in those inner thighs, groin, and then pull the feet towards each other. Notice the interaction with the whole body. You can stay here. Again, maybe sole of the foot on the floor. Slide the foot forward as much as is possible for you today. Bend the arms towards chaturanga. Doesn't have to be much. Swing that left leg around. Either knees to the floor or hips up and back. Downward dog. Okay, let's do it one more time just for fun. Okay, feet together. Right leg back and up. Lift, turn, bend that right leg. Swing that right leg around towards the shoulder, towards the elbow, foot on the floor. Lower the hips. Press apart, pull together, and then again, slide. Just slide as much as you can go. Right towards Hanumanasana. A little sideways, diagonal Hanumanasana. Bend the arms a little, right? A little bit of a side bend, maybe even look to the right. Little side bend to the right. Swing that right leg around, either knees down and come up and back. or just turn the toes under and lift up and back. Good. Feet together. Left leg forward and up. Listen to your breath. Listen to your body. Turn the pelvis to the left. Bend the left leg. Swing that left knee forward. Foot forward. Lower the hips down. Press the feet apart. Pull the feet towards each other. Good. Slide left leg forward. Bend the arms. Swing that left leg back. Hips up and back. Downward dog. Good. Knees down. Child's pose. Brief moment. Yay. Slow your breath down. Good. Okay. And then come up to sit. Okay, so I'm going to have blocks handy for this. By the feet, so you can use blocks depending on your flexibility, right, for Ustrasana, right? That's not the main object, but you can have your hands on your heels with your legs, feet straight, or toes under, or hands on blocks, right, for Ustrasana. But we're going to work towards it for a moment. So toes under, let's bring the hands forward and let the back round, right? Let the tailbone really tuck under so the pubis is pulled towards the belly. So the lower back gets a little bit of length and support from the front body. And then from here, I'm just going to hover the hips up off the legs for a moment. And then slowly start to bring the arms back. Find a little bit of extension with my hips hovering. Arms reaching back, right? I'm just turning on those muscles on either side of the spine, all the way up. Base of spine to base of skull. Rounding again, reach the arms forward. Really pull the ribs back, hollow out the front body to widen and lengthen the back body. And then again, extend, reach the arms back. And then let your hips hover back. Let your hands find either your blocks or your heels. And then just slowly, keeping the ribs back, keeping the head forward, I'm just going to come up halfway to Ustrasana. More about moving the hips and the thighs forward. And then hips back, round. And then hands on heels. And then maybe a more full expression. Right, so thighs press forward, hips press forward, maybe a little bit more into fuller pose. And then lower, hands forward and round. Point the toes back. Good, hover the hips, extend, and round. Again, slight extend. Feeling the pelvis move and the ribs move, round. Let's turn the toes under again, or find your blocks. And again, hold your heels coming up halfway. Push the thighs forward, hips forward, and lower the hips back. Round. Good. And again, hands find the heels and push thighs forward, hips forward, little fuller pose. Drop the ribs down, hips back, round, and child's pose. Just a little movement through the spine. Okay. just to give us a break on our hands. So let's come forward onto hands and knees again. Okay, downward dog. So I'm going to take my right knee into my chest, into my nose, and then I'm going to externally rotate my right leg and try to pull my right foot towards my left wrist. And put the foot down for a moment. And then scoot it forward a little bit more. And then bring the back knee down and the front shin down. So I'm in a little bit of a pigeon pose with my right foot slightly forward. All right, so a little bit more perpendicular to the length of the mat, a little bit. Pulling the front foot back towards the back foot, and then pressing them away from each other and out of room here. So again, you can have your hands on blocks here, that helps. So as I pull the feet towards each other, it gives me one sense of stability. And as I press the feet away from each other, I get a different sense of stability. One more time, pull and press. Good, and then the hands come forward. Curl the back toes under, lift up and back, downward dog. Left knee towards the chest, towards the nose. Externally rotate that left leg. Bring the ankle, the foot, towards the right hand. Plant it. Back knee down. And then lay that front shin bone down. Let's walk that right leg back a little. Again, if you're on blocks, you can walk your hands back. So I'm upright. And then pulling the feet towards each other. Right, so there's a little more stability from the legs to support the spine. And then press the feet apart. And pull. Feel what that does. And then press. Right, different things for your body. And then hands forward, just lean forward a little. Press into the back foot, lift the hips up. Step that left foot back. One more time, right knee comes forward to the chest. Externally rotate, bring that right foot towards the left wrist. Any amount. And then back knee down, bring that front shin down. Maybe walk the hands back just for a moment. Pull the feet towards each other, feel that. Press the feet away from each other. See if you could press that right shin down and forward. Good, and then I'm going to shift my weight forward. Turn the back toes under, lift up. Walk my hands forward a little bit more. Same thing, walk. Just going to shift back, shift forward, shift back, shift forward. And then play with pulling the feet towards each other. And then maybe lean into the hands and press the feet apart. Maybe lift that back leg up. And down, pull the feet towards each other. Walk that back foot back. And then maybe walk the back foot forward. Push into the right shin, lift the back leg. And then step back. Downward dog. Left knee forward, left foot towards the right hand, back knee down, lay that left shin down. And this might be a lot. Maybe just little movements forward and back. Maybe just sneaking the right leg back. Maybe putting a blanket under the left thigh. Okay, pull the feet towards each other. And then press the feet apart as if you could send the left foot forward towards the right hand. Pull and press. And then maybe just walk the back foot forward, walk your hands forward. And again, play with that same thing, right? I'm just shifting weight back, shifting forward, back, forward. One more time, back, forward. Pull the feet towards each other, press the feet apart, maybe lift the back leg. Bring it down one more time. Pull the feet towards each other, press the feet apart, lean forward, lift that right leg. And down, downward dog. Good, back knee to the floor. Child's pose, knees apart, toes together, arms forward. From here, just lift palm of hand, come up onto your fingertips. Really pressing to the finger pads, thumb pads. Good, release the arms. Bring the arms, wrap them around the legs. If you need to bring your knees closer in order for your neck to be supported, you can do that. And then hands under shoulders, press your weight back towards your sitting bones and roll up. Okay, last silly thing. We're just gonna touch into it and then we're gonna lay down. All right, so it's always good. So I have my blocks, toes under, blocks handy if I need them. I'm just gonna shift my weight back, maybe one finger on the block, and lift my knees, and then shift my weight back to my heels. Again, shift my ribs back, let my knees slowly lower, uncurl the toes, sit back. Good, shift forward, curl the toes under, right, shift the ribs back to lift the knees up, and then shift the hips back, and then come up to stand. Okay. Okay, so blocks, middle height, just so again you can use your grip strength. Again, touch in, we're just touching in, just simple. Okay, so I'm just gonna put fingertips on the block, pick up that right knee, externally rotate that right leg, right ankle on the left thigh, just above the kneecap. And then hands on the block. And I'm just gonna bend my knees, let my hips drop back. I drop back into my heels. Almost like I'm coming into a one-legged squat. Good, and then maybe I feel that right foot wrap around that left upper arm, maybe. Good. And then I'm just gonna bend the arms slightly, arms parallel. Just gonna shift my weight forward and let my right shin come to my right upper arm. And then maybe that left heel lifts off the floor. And then again, that thought of pulling the feet towards each other, right foot to left foot, and then pressing the feet apart. Maybe shift forward. Maybe pick those left toes off the floor. And then right foot to the floor. Bend your knees, round up to stand. Other side, again, just touch in. Right, just touch in, say hello, and get out. Okay, fingertips to the floor. Left knee bends. Left ankle above that right knee. You can use your hands if you need to. Bend that right knee and sit back as if in a squat. Hands to the block. So again, maybe the left foot wraps around that right upper arm. Bend the elbows, forearms parallel. And maybe that left shin comes to rest on that left upper arm. And then I'm just going to shift my weight forward into my hands. Pull the feet towards each other for a moment. Feel what happens in the pelvis. Maybe you get a little bit more room or a little more organization, and then press the feet apart. Send that left shin into the arms. And then maybe just tip forward. Maybe get light on the toes or toe tips off the floor. And then shift back. Both feet on the floor. Yay. Good. So just folding over your legs, and go ahead and let your knees bend, let your ribs rest on your thighs. Good, letting your head hang. Good, bring your arms around behind you, interlace your fingers, keep your elbows bent, and then just kind of slowly roll the upper arms towards each other. And then maybe extend the arms. Again, head is hanging. Maybe lift the hips up and straighten the legs. Maybe. Maybe let the arms fall to the left, turning the breastbone to the right. Center, other side. Arms fall to the right, turn the breastbone to the left. Center, release the arms down. Bend the knees and round up to stand. Okay, so turn your head to the right. Drop your chin to your chest. Keep your head turned to the right and slowly roll down, rounding the upper back. Right, so the ribs, front ribs widen and move back ribs widen and move back. Middle back, lower back. Knees can be straight or bent. Good, keeping the head turned to the right. Let's roll up. Again, knees can be bent or straight. Letting the pubis curl up towards the belly. The ribs keep pulling back to widen the back body. And come up, head center. Good, head turns to the left. Chin to the chest. Slowly roll down. Right, let the body organize without hardening jaw, neck. Just keep widening, hollowing out the front body. Legs straight or knees bent. Arms hang. Head is pretty passive except for that slight turn to the left. And then coming up. Again, letting the legs, pelvis, spine roll itself up. Head is more passive, right? Just the weight of the head in that rotation having effect on the opposite side of the spine. Head back to center. Chin to chest, come down right through the center. Shoulders roll forward. Upper spine, middle spine, lower spine. Going slowly enough so you feel the parts where there's a bunch of vertebrae that want to move all together. Right, slow it down and see if you can find some movement, any movement, or just the awareness limited movement. Good, walk the hands forward, feet back, downward dog just for a breath or two. Good, knees down. And let's come on to back. Okay, let's actually take, before you lay all the way down, let's grab your blankie. Right, I have it folded. So there's just a little bit of, it's wide, almost as wide as my mat, but I have a little bit of height so that I can put my blocks right on the lowest height with a little bit of space for the center of the sacrum. A little crab crawl up onto the blocks. Good, slowly coming down onto forearms. So I want to let the ribs really hang as I lay down. Right, so we're all shaped a little different. Some of us are naturally tipped more towards an anterior tilt, some of us more towards the posterior. You just want to feel more neutral and that there's traction in the lower back, that the lower back feels able to just be kind of free floating between the pelvis and the ribs, right? The pelvis is on something stable, the ribs are on something stable. There should feel like there's enough traction that the spine doesn't have to do anything. There's no effort. Just pausing. Letting the breath create movement. Right, coming back to that in-breath and out-breath. In-breath and out-breath. And letting your breath find the places that need the movement. And maybe the movement is on a small level, on a micro level. There's an undulation through the tissue that just allows a little more movement of blood or lymph, like the movement of nourishment into those smaller areas of the tissues. That the tissue is supple enough to allow permeability in the cells. Nourishment in and waste out. Again, thinking shoulders, upper back, neck, the areas in your body where you have more areas of density, tension, jaw, hands, neck, shoulders, hips. Again, just letting your body soften, letting your breath participate with your body. It's like an inner dance of fluidity. Good. If you feel balanced here and you can just gently, right, again, gently lift the heels up without a lot of overstabilizing. Just pick the knees up. Maybe the knees just float over the pelvis with the knees bent. Maybe the feet lift a little. Maybe the legs straighten. Not staying long, like just to get a little inversion through the legs. Just a simple, maybe really gentle point and flex or circle through the ankles. Legs together. Just a couple more breaths here. Again, bending the knees if you feel like the back is overworking, or the belly, or the jaw, or the legs. And then bend the knees, float the feet to the floor. And let's just take feet together, knees apart, just for a few, again, breaths. Hands soft, belly soft, ribs soft, throat soft. And then knees back together. Legs parallel. So because it's cold, if you only have one blanket, maybe take that blanket and put it over you, at least over your torso. That's just gonna shift how you organize yourself. So if you have another blanket, just gently anchor the heels, send the knees to the toes, lift the hips, and slide the blocks towards the feet. You can use the blocks under the thighs if you'd like. Maybe even turning them at an angle, pushing them towards your knees just to support your lower thighs. And taking that blanket or another blanket and putting it on your torso, just so you keep your heat, you keep that softness. Good. You can always grab your sticky mat with your hands and lift your ribs and just walk them away from your pelvis if you need a little more length and width in your back. Maybe just gently turn the head to the right and to the left. And come back to center. Just following the rhythm of the breath, the movement of the breath. feeling that movement throughout your whole body. Again, stepping into this moment, the vastness of this present moment. Right, connected to what has happened and what will happen. What will happen, but is now. Right, is in this current inhalation, exhalation. And again, just stepping into the nourishment of that. Whatever that means for you, however that unfolds for you. And then maybe there's an element that feels especially nourishing. Maybe the color of the sky. Maybe it's the animals in winter. Or the clear sky, the new moon, the stars, the brilliance of the stars. We're seeing the buds on the trees, kind of ready, anxious, excited. And just allowing yourself to be nourished by whatever shows up. A snowy mountain, feeling it within you and around you. And very gently, very slowly, little movement through your fingers and through your toes. And gently roll to your side. And come up to sit. Again, just aware of your breath, aware of that line from perineum to crown. Maybe a sense of fullness within you or around you. A sense of light growing and building. Again, either radiating from within or shining down on you. And feeling the softness, tenderness, and expanse of your own being. Palms together in front of your heart. Again, aware of your beauty and your strength and your softness. Om